Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, I cannot wait to talk about why this trade of Jamal Adams benefits Sam Darnold greatly. But before I get into that, links are in the description. I have other channels, on this platform that I want you folks to, subscribe to, follow, turn on your notifications for those because I want to interact when I start posting content over there. I also have a Twitch channel down there as well. It's in my description link. It's also going to be in the comments as well. Get over to that Twitch channel, give that a follow as well, turn on your notifications so when I start live gaming, I want to interact with you folks on there as well. As you see down there too, I have a gaming channel too. I'm going to be streaming, coming soon. Again, I'm kicking out a lot of the kinks. Things have been slowed down because of, some things that are going on in the world. You get what I'm saying? Be aware, be ready, click those links, subscribe, follow, and get involved with the channels that are down there. Again, I also want to thank everyone as well for really interacting on my last video about the Jamal Adams trade. Got a lot of comments, got a lot of likes, got a lot of subscribers as well. I want to thank you folks for checking that video out. I'm going to keep the content coming on this channel, also on my sports channel as well. And I love going back and forth with you folks. That's why I literally went back and forth with everybody in the comments. That's just how I am. I interact with people. I talk to people left and right. I want to hear your perspective about football. Let's go back and forth about that. Also, Seahawks fans, you folks came through as well. Salute to y'all. Y'all have a great franchise. You guys are doing your thing. I had a lot of Seahawks fans subscribe to my channel too. That was a beautiful thing. Listen, this is a Jets channel. We do bleed green over here, but I do a weekly pick 'em during the year. So I do talk about other teams on this channel as well. So if you want to, again, don't, subscribe thinking I'm just going to only hear Jets content. No, you'll hear about the Seahawks here and there. Like I said, I do a pick 'em. We'll talk about whether I feel like you guys are going to win or lose depending on who you match up with the teams that, on a weekly basis. So, don't think you won't hear about the Hawks on this channel. You will, from time to time, but to keep it real, we bleed green around here. You see what's you see what's on my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, let's go ahead and get right into this. Listen, this video is about why I think the trade of Jamal Adams is going to greatly benefit Sam Darnold. Okay, so look. You look at this situation, we have 4 first-round picks for the next 2 years, coming up. 2 in the next year's draft, and then 2 the year after that. That's a beautiful thing to have, especially when you're a team that is trying to rebuild, particularly on the offense. Our offense is caca. It is terrible. And we've got to step up. You can't win anything in this league with the 32nd ranked offense in the league. I'm going to say it again. We had the 32nd ranked offense in the league. You can't win anything in an offensively driven league with a garbage ass offense. That's just not how it works. You know what I mean? That's just not how it works. So using Adams, and this is again one of the reasons I kept screaming to trade him, using Adams, we can take those picks and be able to make this a different situation. It also helps us speed up the rebuilding process because of the extra capital that we got back for him. I know a lot of Jamal Adams stands, y'all really thin-skinned too, because y'all was in my mentions throwing jabs and hooks. I ducked them all. I let it slide for months. I told 2 jokes about Jamal Adams and y'all, oh, go Joe, come on, don't do that to us. I'm going to keep telling them. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to keep telling them, baby. Them jokes is going to keep coming. But the point of moving on from him was, hey, look, this guy being here was not going to win us. We weren't going to win a Super Bowl with him just being here. That's not going to happen. That's not how this team is built. This team was not built like that. We're struggling. We're still trying to find our way. Whether he, is off the roster or on the roster this year, maximum, what, we're going to win maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 games if we're lucky. That's not going to get us anywhere. We've got to put ourselves in a better situation. Moving on from him allows us to do that. It absolutely does. I also had a lot of Jamal Adams stands in my mentions saying, hey, he's the face of the franchise. Listen, if a safety is the face of your franchise, your franchise is in trouble. In today's NFL, if a safety is the face of your franchise, you got a problem. The face of our franchise to be a quarterback, and the face of our franchise to be Sam Darnold. And we haven't done enough to properly invest within the offense. If you look at this Jets franchise as a whole, we've had issues offensively for decades here. Here's a great point. the greatest offense statistically we've ever had was quarterbacked by Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not lying about that. You can go look up the records. The greatest offense we've ever had statistically in New York Jets franchise history was quarterbacked by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Why? It's because we got Ryan Fitzpatrick weapons. Even though he was a below average ass quarterback, he was trash. It didn't matter because he had Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker. He had a great running game. The offensive line was solid and kept him protected. He was in a position to consistently be able to just chuck up the ball, and guys would go make plays for him. I'm not lying. Go back and watch those seasons. He was just chucking the ball up, and guys was running under it, fighting for the ball, making the play, and we would keep moving on down the field. So that's how we build. So I'm looking at Sam Darnold, at least in my eyes. I mean, I've watched Sam for a long. He's a way above average quarterback. So if you give him those type of weapons, if you would have put Sam Darnold back in the day with Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall, dude, we would have been constantly in the running for to make deep playoff runs or possibly win it all because of the talents there. So you have to surround a guy with some type of talent. You can't expect him to go out there and do nothing. Or do something, and never be protected. That's insane. He's not protected correctly. He has next to no receiving threats. That's absolutely crazy. That must change. And these picks and this capital will change it. It will absolutely change it if we use it correctly. You also look at this situation again with the virus that's going around, with everything we got going on in the world, because I'm not going to say the word. Because YouTube be trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say the word, but we all know what we got going on around this world right now. This is a situation where there'll be no fans in the stands coming this year. We don't exactly know whether the cap is going to be, lowered tremendously or what's going to happen there. We couldn't afford to sign Jamal to the type of the contract that he allegedly wanted. You couldn't give him that type of cash. We need young, cheap talent so that if the cap gets cut drastically, we'll still be okay. We'll still be able to come forward and continue to rebuild and move on. So I thought, again, those are all the reasons why I wanted to move on from Jamal Adams. It is time for him to go. I wish him nothing but the best. But this is about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is the face of this franchise, and we need to do whatever it takes to make sure that he's in a position to ascend and make plays. We cannot continue to put him, in bad situations, getting him beat up every single season, and also give him next to nobody to throw to. That's just not how you build a franchise. It's just absolutely not. So again, I urge Jets fans, listen, stop thinking that this move, was about this year. Because I had a lot of people hitting me up saying that too. Well, look at where it puts us this year. Listen, this is not just about this year. This move is about the future. This move is about next year. This move is about, making sure that Sam and this team has what it needs to move forward. This move is about when Sam goes up for that deal, that we'll be able to set him up so that years to come, for these next 10 or 15 years that he may be our quarterback, that he's going to be put in positions to take this franchise where it needs to go. That's what this move was about. So, also, I had a lot of fans, saying, hey, well, what about our defense? Look, we got a player back in Bradley McDougald, who I think is going to be able to fill in decently. He may not be, he may not make the same type of plays as Jamal Adams, but this guy is a very solid safety. He's a guy that can fill in. He's very solid in coverage. He can be moved around. People also forget that we have Marcus May as well. I know a lot of Jets fans don't like to talk about that guy for some reason. He's one of the better cover safeties in the entire league. I know people keep screaming about how Jamal had 6 sacks. Jamal does not play defensive end. He was a safety. He was a great safety. He's a safety though. So safeties also need to be in coverage, and Marcus May can do that. Marcus May can also come in down into the box and make plays too. I know a lot of fans maybe forgot that he could do that. He can do that too. But again, for the things that he was asked to do last year within the scheme, because we had so many issues in coverage, he was asked to do something else, which is coverage. That's why he was one of the better cover safeties in the league. This is a dude that can fill in. You also got Ashton Davis back there too. Ashton Davis is a young kid we just drafted. We're going to be bringing him along. He's a guy that has a lot of traits that can be moved around to various positions within the defense. So we'll see him be brought in too. But I'm not shaking in my boots because we moved on from Jamal Adams. Our safety, position isn't just falling through the cellar. That's not what's going on here. We'll be okay. It's just about moving on, moving forward, making sure that we get the type of capital we need back, and making sure that our future is bright. That's what this was about. Also, these picks also open up the door for trades. Oh man, let me get into this. Listen, I know a lot of people want Ngakoue from Jacksonville, the young kid, the young pass rusher. I think he's a good player. Okay, I'm not knocking y'all for that, but for me, again, offense at this point. Okay, I love Ngakoue, but you also got to trade and pay him. Okay, and that dude wants a lot of money. Let me tell you, and I get it. But for me, if I have the type of capital we have, I'm looking for edge in the draft. That's where I would look for edge at, especially when you're talking about paying as much money as he's asking for and also having to give up draft capital too. Again, we're still trying to build. We need to keep as much capital as we can. The draft is one of your best, places to go get talent for cheap. Keep that in mind. Cheap talent. So for me, I look at this situation and I'm saying, okay, if we do make a move, again, offense to me would be the move if we're making a trade, if we're going to use our draft capital. And guys, I've seen names get thrown out there. Juju Smith-Schuster is a guy I would be interested in. Depending on, what the look would be like. Because again, not only do we have 4 first rounders, we also got some third rounders back as well. Maybe we can use those or partner that, because I don't think Juju is necessarily like you have to give up a first rounder for him. Maybe the Steelers, I've heard, according to reports, the Steelers would be interested in a second rounder or, something like that. So maybe you make a trade and bargain for a guy like that where you can bring him in. And I know that he wants to be paid as well, but you can give him a little bit and really kind of bolster your offense. So Juju Smith-Schuster is a guy I'd be interested in. Again, depending on the price tag, as long as he's not asking for astronomical amounts of money, he's a guy that I would be interested in. I know some fans started screaming about OBJ off the bat. They wanted Odell Beckham. And, hey, if I understand why. I don't know if his personality would fit, with gays. You know what I'm saying? That just seems like a bomb waiting to explode. But I understand why. But again, this kind of opens up our flexibility because you can use the capital that we have gained and possibly get some stuff back. And if you get the right guy at the right fit, then that may work for us too. But again, OBJ is a guy that is making a lot of cash as well. So, this also allows us to also fill some defensive spots, like I just spoke about a second ago with the draft picks. I know a lot of people are looking at this situation and going, hey, all we really need, is a pass rusher. Yeah, but you also got guys like Pierre Desir. You look at our second cornerback spot, we have next to nobody. I know people are really high on Bless Austin. He got benched last year. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some holes in this defense, and not just that, but you also got guys on 1-year deals. Pierre Desir, a guy I just brought up, he's on a 1-year deal. If he plays decently, we're gonna have to pay a boatload to bring him back. A corner that is really playing, out of this world, or at least just slightly above average in free agency, gets overpaid year in and year out. We've done that before. We've overpaid corners that have, had a slightly above average or above average year, and it's bit us in the butt. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to be very, careful about how we handle that. So the draft could be a big time, wealth of talent there. We can grab a guy, that can come in and fill in for a spot. Also, Jordan Jenkins is another guy that's on a 1-year deal. And again, we still don't have a pass rusher. So you could be looking at a situation where Jordan Jenkins could walk away, Desir could walk away, and now you're not shaking in your boots going, oh my goodness, how am I going to fill these spots? You can go to the draft. You can also, again, go to the draft for that pass rusher. So we've got to make sure that we can take care of this. But this can all be facilitated because we have picks. We have picks, and we saw Joe Douglas do a marvelous job this last draft. Again, to me, the highlight of the draft was getting Mims in the second round. The fact that we were able to trade down and still get Mims, that was something else. You know what I'm saying? So just the movement that we can have, the flexibility that this move gives us, how it sets us up to put Sam in position to be a big time quarterback in this league, to push this team forward. I'm over the moon about it. And that's why I was screaming to move him ASAP, because there were just so many options in last year's draft with wide receiver. So if this year's draft coming up has as many wide receivers as some people were screaming about in the comments, saying, hey, there's guys here coming. There's guys from Alabama. There's guys from this. There's guys from that. So if those guys are going to be available in this year's draft, this puts us in a big time position, man, to really set ourselves up for the future. So I want to get you folks' thoughts on this. How do you feel about the Jets and all the capital that they have? What are your thoughts, on setting Sam Darnold up for the future? What are your thoughts about Sam Darnold as well? I know a lot of people were talking about possibly moving up, for Lawrence and stuff like that. I think he's a great quarterback, but I don't understand why you would bring him in and basically bring him into the same situation that Sam Darnold is struggling in right now. I think it's more about the fact that we don't have skill positions to put around Darnold than I think it is about Darnold lacking talent. I don't see that myself, but I want to get your thoughts on that too. Do you think the Jets should take these picks and move up for Lawrence? You know what I'm saying? So let me know, folks, how you feel. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. You folks have a good one. Peace.